she gave include 6-3-9 sequence of breathing, focusing on best things in life and changing negative emotions into positive emotions. While talking about E of PERMA, which stands for engagement, ma'am said that to remain engaged is really mandatory for sound mental health. And we can keep ourselves engaged by doing exercises, singing, playing instrument, and by listening deeply to others in order to connect with them, etc. Dr. Shruti talked at length about the characteristics of good relationship, which includes empathy, compassion, forgiveness, kindness, etc. Ma'am discussed about the importance of strong relationships by saying that strong relationships could change our thought process, impact our choices, and motivates and above all, change the way our brain responds to pain and fear. Ma'am elaborated upon the meaning, which is M of the acronym PERMA. While elaborating it, she said, one must always try to add meaning to its life, and we all should think about things which really means to us. For adding meaning to one's life, one must explore the purpose of his or her life, and for this one could follow personal improvement plan. While talking about A of PERMA, which stands for accomplishment, Dr. Shruti said that a sense of accomplishment is an essential aspect of positive living, flourishing, and happiness. We must acknowledge ourselves for even little achievements that we do in our life. Dr. Shori suggested that one should not bottle up his her emotions, and if he or she needs help in this regard, they must seek help of others, as seeking help is a sign of strength. Dr. Shruti ended her presentation by suggesting that one must always take a daily dose of PERMA to ensure good physical and mental health. Well, the second session of the day, one of this webinar was equally energetic. Ms. Chetanpreet Kaur Nilo, Assistant Professor Public Administration, DAV College, Chandigarh, was the resource person for the second session. She deliberated upon the sub-theme She deliberated upon the sub-theme well-being during pandemic and post-pandemic physical health and lifestyle. Ms. Chetanpreet Kaur started her presentation by saying that the uncertainty due to the pandemic of COVID-19 has given rise to panic among people. And this panic is impacting the mental and physical health of people in the adverse manner. Further, she elaborated upon the various adverse effects of COVID-19 on our life, where she described that it has altered our daily routine. It has also altered the sleep and dietary patterns of the people. And moreover, it has given rise to sedentary lifestyle. However, she also described the COVID-19 as a good pause in everybody's life from the hectic daily routine. Ms. Chetanpreet Kaur also threw light on some coping strategies to remain healthy in this period of COVID-19, where she discussed the importance of laughter therapy, meditation, and the golden rule of relax, breathe, and stretch. She ended her presentation on a suggestive note by saying that the best way to make this pandemic productive is to unlearn and then learn. Thank you very much. Nice.
Good morning, everyone. Now, for the current session, we are having amongst us a renowned clinical dietitian from South Africa, Ms. Jasleen Kaur, who will enlighten us about emotional well-being and mindful eating. Welcome you, ma'am. Ms. Jasleen has received her tertiary education from University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. She is registered with the Health Professions Council of South Africa and Association for Dietetics in South Africa. In 2018, she completed her community service at St. Andrew's Hospital, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. During the year, she managed the dietetics department, which included ward rounds, audits, supporting feeder community clinics, outreach, admin, and stock control of supplementation training, which included lactation and mother-baby friendly initiatives. She also initiated a diabetic and hypertensive clinic by involving the multidisciplinary team in order to provide patients with the support and required education on the disease conditions. Now, during the current year, she has been working as a clinical dietitian in private hospitals. Her duties include nutritional assessment, counseling, and providing nutritional therapy for in and out patients with several conditions from medical, surgical, pediatric, and intensive care backgrounds. She finds great satisfaction in helping clients recover and improving their lifestyle. She is constantly striving to expand her knowledge in the field of nutrition in order to provide clients with the latest scientific-based information. So again, on behalf of the management, principal, faculty, and students of the college, I extend a very warm welcome to Ma'am Jasleen. Ma'am, we are really honored by your presence amongst us. Now over to you, ma'am, for the technical session. And one more thing for the participants, in case of any queries, kindly type your questions in the chat box and your questions will be dealt after the technical session. Thank you so much. Now over to Jasleen, ma'am, please.
Good morning. Thank you, G.H.G. Khalsa College, for such a warm welcome. I hope everyone has had a nutritious breakfast this morning and we are all nourished and awake to listen to today's session. Thank you to Dr. Shruti Shari and Ms. Chetanpreet Nilo for such an insightful session yesterday. So today we'll be chatting about nutrition and mental health, focusing on mindful eating. I'm just going to put my slides up. There you go. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes, you're audible.
No problem with the sound. Okay, perfect.
You're audible.
Okay. Okay, so my topic today is eating smarter during and post the pandemic, keeping the focus on mindful eating. As we know, during the current situation, there tends to be a lot of overeating. I'm sure a lot of people have been snacking unnecessarily throughout the day because, you know, we're at home and we pass by the kitchen and we see something, some snacks, and we just keep on snacking throughout the day, okay? This is known as emotional eating, where we aren't physically hungry, but due to maybe stress or boredom or other emotions, we tend to turn to food for comfort. Okay, and this leads to overeating. All right, I'm sure many of you must be thinking, what's the link between mental health and nutrition? So I'm just going to brief 2 slides on this. There have been multiple studies that have found that nutrition and mental health is linked. What we eat determines how we feel, how we act, and how we behave. Okay, so this is a diagram here. It's called the gut-brain axis. As you can see, gut and your brain are linked. Okay, so if you have an unhappy gut, you tend to have an unhappy mental state or brain, and vice versa. How does this work? Okay, so I know that the other speakers also did mention about your happy hormones, your endorphins. So serotonin is one of them, and is known as your happy hormone. It is produced in your gut by your good bacteria. Okay, so this is how the gut and the brain are linked. Right. So what you need to do is if you nourish your gut, you are nourishing and fueling your brain. Okay, so healthy, good nutrition is very important. Studies have also shown that there's a correlation between diets that are high in refined sugar and an impaired brain function. And diets that are very high in refined sugar have shown to increase symptoms of depression and anxiety. Okay, vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D deficiency has shown to be linked to depression and an unhappy mental state. Okay, so what is vitamin D? Vitamin D is a sunshine vitamin. You get vitamin D from the sun. Okay, but not many people absorb vitamin D. And the darker your skin, so the higher your melanin content, the harder it is for you to absorb vitamin D from the sun. So they say for about 10 to 15 minutes, you should soak in some sun on a daily basis, but do not wear sunscreen. Okay, this blocks the vitamin D absorption. So if you're wearing sunscreen and going out and thinking that, oh, let me absorb some vitamin D today, your body is not actually absorbing vitamin D. Okay, so without sunscreen. However, vitamin D levels, especially in our Indian community, in our Asian community, vitamin D deficiency is real. Okay, so I would recommend if you do go for your routine blood test, this would be something to check up on because there's no use taking supplements without knowing what's going on in your body. Okay, if you take supplements without knowing what your blood tests are showing, it can lead to vitamin toxicity. All right, so if you do go for your routine blood test, I would suggest to do a vitamin D test. Food sources that are high in vitamin D, your dairy, so your milk, your buttermilk, lassi, cheese, egg yolks, fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, and your fortified foods. Right, so vitamin D is also linked with mental health and depression. What is mindful eating? Okay, I'm sure many of you have this question. Mindful eating is paying attention to our food on purpose. We in the moment, we being present. Like Dr. Shruti Shori had mentioned yesterday, you know, you have to be present in the moment. So when you eat, you need to be present in the moment. You need to focus on your food. You need to enjoy your food. Taste your food, smell your food, okay? Put in your senses to use, okay? Enjoy your food. So that is mindful eating, and we're gonna focus more on this on the further slides. Okay, here are some points about mindless eating compared to mindful eating. All right, so emotional eating. I'm sure many of us do this. When we're bored, or when we're stressed, or when we're sad, we turn to food for comfort. Right. So instead of turning to food for comfort, choose other ways to deal with your emotions. Either meditate, Ms. Chetanpreet Nilo addressed this yesterday, meditate or read a book or dance or go for a walk, call a friend, okay, instead of going to food for comfort. So what is considered mindless eating is when you tune into your body's hunger signals and eat accordingly. We will look more at hunger cues and how to identify when you are hungry. Mindless eating, keep eating even though you're full. Oh, there's a saying, your eyes are bigger than your stomach, you know? So being more mindful about when you're eating is when you know you are full, you know, your satiety levels are to the point and you stop eating. You eat junk food that makes you feel good at first, it gives you a high energy burst, and then you feel sluggish later. So instead of that, nourish your body with good foods that give you energy, that keep you fuller for longer, that are giving you the energy to combat your day. So healthy, balanced meals. Eat in front of the TV or while on your phone. How many of you do this? Distractions, okay? You tend to forget how much you're eating and you're not focusing on your food. So focus on your meal, avoid distractions. A lot of people do this. This is a big, big problem we have in today's society, especially with all the fad diets out there, restricting food groups, categorizing foods into bad and good foods. Okay, when we do this, we tend to binge eat when we restrict food groups. Okay, so what we need to do, instead of labeling chocolate as bad, we eat and enjoy all foods in moderation, and we eat the 1 piece or 2 pieces of chocolate when we feel like. But right, what are the benefits of mindful eating? You're able to identify your hunger cues. Okay, we're going to look at a slide now that shows you on a scale basis how to identify that. You're more aware of what you eat. So no distractions, you're focusing on your meals. You're eating more healthy, balanced meals, okay, which I'm going to go through portion control and how to make sure you're getting the right portions of all the different nutrients in your meals. And you don't feel guilty about eating food. So if you have the piece of chocolate or piece or 2 of chocolate, you're not feeling guilty the next day and then restricting and starving yourself or going on a juice diet or a detox diet, okay? You get back on track. Don't feel guilty. You eat slower, okay? So enjoy your food, don't rush it. Take time to eat your food. Prevent emotional eating, like I mentioned earlier. Find other ways to deal with your emotions. And then remember, mindful eating is a behavioral change. So as you change your behavior, this leads to lifestyle change. All right. Okay, so this is a scale I was speaking about. As you can see, it's 0 to 10. And this is how you can identify when you're hungry. So hunger pangs, stomach growling, thoughts of food, hungry. I would suggest stopping at 8. You're satisfied. There's a sense of well-being in your stomach and you're comfortably full. If your stomach is stretched, you're painfully full, you're nauseated, and you're feeling uncomfortable, you have overeaten. Okay, as you can see, 9 and 10 is too full. All right. Also, please plate up your food and avoid eating from packages. Okay, when you plate up your food, you have a good idea of how much you're putting into your body. When you tend to eat from packages, you tend to forget how much you're eating. And, you know, if it's something like, say, chips, okay, and you're eating from the packet, and it's addictive now, and say you're sitting in front of the TV eating from a packet, okay? You can easily finish a big packet of chips sitting in front of a TV or on your phone. So please plate up your meals and like chips or snacks or nuts, anything that comes in packages. Okay, we're going to look at different ways to mindful eating. The first is portion control. I've put a nice example here of what your plate should be looking like. All right, so we'll start with starch. As you can see, starch should form a quarter of your plate. For another way to judge how much you should be eating, it's your fist size. Okay, so your fist size should be starch. What is starch? Roti, rice, potatoes. Potatoes is not a veg. Potatoes is a starch. Okay, so that forms part of your starch portion. Puris, pastas, pizzas, wraps, all of this is starch. Anything grain is starch. All right, so you want to opt for more of your whole grain starches. Why? These tend to be lower GI. What does this mean? It means that they digest slower and hence keep you fuller for longer. Compared to, say, if you eat something that's refined, something that's made of maida, say like a muffin or a biscuit, It digests quickly, it gives you a burst of energy, and it's not going to keep you full for long. You're going to tend to get hungry quicker, and then you're going to want to snack on other foods. All right, so you want to try and limit the refined sources of starch, like your biscuits, your sweets, your muffins. The next is protein. Okay, I have a piece of salmon on that plate. I know many people must be vegetarian or vegan. I'm going to go through some of the protein sources, the vegetarian protein sources. So some of the plant-based protein sources, tofu, paneer, all your dals, all your chickpeas, your gram dal, your chane, your white chane, your black chane, and soybean as well is a good protein. For non-veg, there's eggs, there's chicken, there's fish, lamb, mutton, beef and pork, for those of you that eat it. All of those form part of non-veg. All right, so make sure your meat is lean. Okay, if you're eating your non-veg sources, you don't want the fatty bits around your meat. You want your lean cuts of meat. All right, and you can see that also forms a quarter of our plate. So another palm size, if you want to use your hands. The size of your palm should be the size of protein, so about 60 to 90 grams. If you're having a vegetarian source of protein, your dals and your same amount, a quarter of your plate. Right, protein also. Remember, if you add protein to your meal, it lowers the GI of your meal, meaning that takes longer to digest and keeps you full for long. All right. Yeah, okay. So veggies. Vegetables. How many of you have veggies daily? At least half your plate at lunch and supper. You guys can just answer in the chat box. I would like to see how many of you include vegetables in your daily diet, whether it's a salad, whether it's sabzi, any sort of vegetables, but included in the diet. Okay, I'm unable to view the chat. All right. Okay, so vegetables. Make sure your plate is colorful. All right. Remember I said use your senses. So what you see on your plate should look pretty. Your food should look pretty. So you see a lot of the chefs, and I know a lot of people have been cooking and getting their inner chef out in quarantine and decorating their meals. You know, make your food look raw, eat your subsies. So half of your plate at lunch and supper. In terms of kids, I know kids have a problem of eating vegetables. A lot of parents have a problem, and they ask this question: how can we include more vegetables in our child's diet? Okay, you can cut them into different shapes. You can hide them in your food, like if you're making a gravy sabzi or a tari wali sabzi, you can always just puree your vegetables and add it to the tari so it's not seen. So your child actually they don't know that they're eating the veg.
Excuse me,
All right.
just 1 minute. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is breaking here and there. Either be a little closer to the mic or just see what is this mic. Your voice is breaking here and there, Jasleen.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, it's better. It's better now. It's better.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is that kids, a lot of parents come to me and say that their children don't like vegetables or don't eat veg. Okay, so what I was saying is a good idea is that you can cut the vegetables into different shapes. You get cookie cutters that you can cut your sabzis into different shapes to make it more interesting for the children. Or you can puree the veg and put it into a sauce or gravy. For example, if you're making a tari wali sabzi, puree your veg and add it to the tari. I mean, the veg will not be seen and your kids will be eating the veg, but they won't, you're kind of tricking them into eating their veg, but they don't know that they're eating veg. Okay, so your vegetables, why should you include this much? Fiber, vitamins, minerals, okay? Try and include a variety of vegetables. So you do get certain vegetables that are slightly starchy than the others. These are your butternut, beetroot, and carrots. These vegetables have a little bit more starch than your other vegetables. That's why it's very important for you to include a variety of veg in your meal. Okay, let's move on to fat. Okay, so fat, you can see a very small amount of fat is needed, and this is per person. So fat is 1 teaspoon per person per meal, not per day, per meal. This is your thumb size of fat per person. Your sabzis and your dals and your rice shouldn't be oily. Okay, it should not be oily. Even your meat, when your meat is cooked, you shouldn't see the oil, or you shouldn't see the fat, whatever fat you're using in your meals. All right, so you get your saturated fats, which have been linked to heart disease and increasing cholesterol levels. So you want to limit the amount you use in your meals, okay? Saturated fats will be stuff that are hard at room temperature. So for example, your coconut oil, your ghee, but ghee I'll come back to, and your butters that are hard at room temperature. Okay, so you want to use more of your plant-based oils. Any plant-based oil is fine, as long as you are limiting the portion size. Your healthier fats, you want to include your monounsaturated fats and your polyunsaturated fats, your nuts and your seeds. Very good as a snack, and healthy fats. These are healthy fats. Even your avocados, very good to include if you are able to get it. Your ghee. Okay, there's been a lot of controversy around ghee. Right, ghee is a saturated fat, but I know even in Ayurveda, some studies, it has shown to have a benefit. Okay, it has viral properties and also helps your immune system. But remember, it's still a saturated fat, so I wouldn't overdo the ghee. Okay, so 1 tablespoon a day should be spread throughout the day, maximum. Okay, so if you're cooking with ghee, also 1 tablespoon a day should be spread out throughout the day per person. Okay, please avoid trans fats. I don't know if anyone reads labels when they're shopping. You'll see a lot of products, a lot of processed foods, a lot of processed cakes, biscuits have trans fats in them. You want to avoid these. These are your bad fats, okay? This has also been linked to increase in heart disease, increase in cholesterol levels, especially your LDL cholesterol. Okay, peanut butter, also good fat. So you also want to limit that. You don't want to overdo your peanut butter. Okay, then your dairy. Your dairy, remember, lassi, milk, yogurt, cheese, you can include in your diet. Just make sure you aren't eating your processed cheese. I don't know if anyone knows, you get those slices of processed cheeses. You want to avoid those, okay? Highly processed, I would not recommend that. And then your normal dairy just includes daily. You can include that daily. Your fruit. Please eat your fruit and try and limit drinking your fruit. So your fruit juices, I'll address that a bit later, but a lot of sugar, even those that you buy from the store that say 100% fruit juice. I'm going to teach you how to read your labels a little bit later on, so you'll see what I'm speaking about. Those people that juice their fruit, if you have a juicer that separates the juice and the fiber, I would not recommend that, because the fiber is separated and you tend to only be drinking its highly concentrated sugar content from the fruit, and you're not getting any of the fiber from the fruit. Okay, if you're using like a NutriBullet or a Mixie or food processor to process your fruit, you can do that now and then, but still majority of the time, eat your fruit. It's better than drinking your fruit. You're getting your full benefit of the fruit. If you eat it, you're getting the fiber, vitamins, minerals. And also, I just want to ask everyone a question. Okay, I'm sure you've noticed if you eat a fruit, you'll probably eat one, right? An apple, maybe a banana. But when you tend to juice, how much are you using to get you give you a glass of juice? Ask yourself, will you eat that amount? Okay, so it tends to be concentrated. Right. And then obviously drink lots of water. You can see it's there with a lot of exclamation marks at the bottom of the slide. All right. Okay, and then just to remember, one food is not going to cause harm to your body. It's a combination of foods. It's your dietary habits in whole. So don't tend to blame one food for causing harm to you. Right. The next practice to mindful eating, savor your food. Okay, chew your food, eat slower. Okay, it's been shown that if you chew your food, you tend to eat slower, it leads to better digestion. People who eat very fast finish their food like this, and they finish their food before their satiety signals kick in. So they don't realize that they're full. Okay, and then they take servings, and then they end up on that scale of the hunger cues of like a 9 and 10, where you're sitting and you're uncomfortable and you're in a food coma, and now you're feeling very tired and lethargic and you need to go take an afternoon nap. Okay, so you want to chew your food, enjoy your food, taste the flavors, eat slower. Engage your senses, taste, smell, enjoy the textures of the food. Something my mom always does. I mean, you can do this with your kids or with your family as well. When she cooks, she always tells us to guess what she's added to the food in terms of spices and ingredients. And it's always, you know, because we sit as a family together and eat. So it's always really nice to see who can guess what spices mom has put in. So that's testing and getting you to actually pay attention to what you're eating and engaging your senses. Okay. Then you want to avoid distractions. Like I said before, you don't want to have your phone at the dinner table, okay? Some rules and regulations should be in place. No phones at the dinner table, not sitting in front of the TV and eating your meals, because this leads to distraction and you don't focus on your food and you're not enjoying your food. You're not being mindful about what you're eating. Okay, this is just a nice summary. It's on a plate. Just summarizing all the points that I have covered. Savor, so savor your food, like we spoke about. Non-judgment, speak mindfully about your food. Don't get into guilt if you like I said earlier, if you eat maybe one biscuit or a piece of chocolate, don't feel guilty about it, okay? You can include all foods into your diet, but in moderation. Be in the moment, be present in the moment, turn off the TV, sit down, focus on what you're eating. Observe, notice how you feel after you eat certain foods. Notice your body, be in tune with your body, and notice your hunger cues as well. Ask yourself, am I emotional eating? Am I eating because I'm sad, or am I bored, or am I eating because I'm really hungry? Okay, and be more aware, tasting versus mindless munching. So try not to snack mindlessly. All right. I thought this would be really nice to decode your food labels. Can we have the poll? I just want to see how many of you are actually awake. So I'm going to do a poll. I'm launching the poll. Let's see how many of you are awake. Okay, we have 266 viewers. I would like you to vote. Okay. I'm going to wait for a little bit. Can everyone see the poll? Okay, one person has voted. Come guys, speed up, wakey, wakey. Okay, it's increasing. Good to see. It's a good way to see if everyone's concentrating. Just to interact with you guys, you know, if we were in actually a venue, I would actually be interacting and speaking to you guys. So this is a nice way to interact over a webinar. Okay, 52 have answered, 56. Come guys. Okay, I'm gonna give it 20 more seconds. Right, and I'm gonna share the results with you all. Some good answers coming in. Getting an idea of our audience, wonderful. Great stuff. Only 88. Where are the rest of you? I think some people have left their laptops on and have walked away. Okay, 94, 96, and I am ending the poll. Right. Okay, I'm sharing the results, so you guys will be able to see the results. Okay, the first question, do you feel guilty when you eat junk food and restrict yourself after? Wow, majority of you, 79%. I told you this was a problem. This is a problem for so many people. So I hope after this session, you all won't be restricting yourself and not feeling guilty and just getting back on track again. Okay, so majority feeling guilty. Do you read the nutritional labels of packaging? Yes. Wow, I didn't expect this. 76%. Do you actually know what you're reading? Do you know what you're looking out for? That's a question I should have asked. How much juice or cold drink do you consume in a day? Okay, really good. So those who have answered, majority is saying no, which is amazing because I'm going to show you how much sugar is actually in these juices or cold drinks. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing the results. Thank you guys for those who participated in the poll. That was nice. Okay. So I decided to choose Maggie. I actually got someone from India to send me a picture of their packet in their house because I know Maggie is your go-to snack. For a lot of people, they go to snack or they go to meal, and probably everyone has a packet of Maggie lying in their house right now, okay? Favorite Indian snack, Maggie noodles, even in South Africa, I guess. We have a problem in South Africa, just something interesting that I thought I would share. Moms feeding this to their babies because it's easy. They tend to feed their babies noodles. Big problem we have in South Africa here. Okay, so this is Maggie, as you can see. This is the ingredient list that I have condensed and cropped so you can see it better. One thing to know, the ingredients that are listed on products are listed in a descending order, meaning the first ingredient listed, okay, will be in majority. So that is the majority ingredient in the product. So let's have a look here. Here we have refined wheat flour maida, palm oil, and iodized salt. These three are the majority products in Maggie. Okay, so the next time you go shopping or you go to the grocery store, please look at your labels and see what ingredient is in majority in your products. Okay. Okay, next slide. All right. Okay. Nutritional information, very important to read this. Okay, I'm not teaching you how to decode a food label so you can be like a detective now and everything that you eat, you need to take a magnifying glass and look at. It's nice to be aware of what you're putting into your body. And actually, if something says, if a product says, you know, no sugar added, some people do not know what that means, all right? They think that there's no sugar in that product. So it's nice to be aware, it's nice to learn and know what you're putting into your body, being more mindful, all right? That is why I'm teaching you how to decode a label. First thing is to check the serving size. All right, the nutritional information is usually provided per 100 gram and per serving. So in this case, the serving size is 60 grams. Remember, if you eat more than 60 grams, the nutritional information, the energy, the protein, the carbohydrates will be increased because obviously it's given per serving. Okay. So as you can see, you have your energy in kilocalories per 100 gram per serving. You have your protein in grams, very low protein here in this product. Carbohydrates, okay. Your total sugars, your sugar, and this product has fiber, not too much, but it does have fiber in it. Total fat, let's look at the total fat, okay, because Maggie noodles, you want to look at your total fat, your saturated fat. Early on, I spoke about trans fats. So this product has trans fats. So remember I said try and limit and avoid products with trans fats in it. Okay. So if you look at your total fat, it is sitting at 9.4 grams per serving. And if you look at your saturated fat, it's sitting at 4.1 grams per serving and 6.8 grams per 100 gram. Now, saturated fat should less than 1.5 grams per 100 gram is considered low. So if a product has less than 1.5 grams of saturated fat per 100 gram, it's considered low. 1.5 grams to 5 grams is considered medium, and above 5 grams is high. So here, the 6.8 grams is above the 5 grams. So that is high. This product is high in saturated fat. Okay, so you do not want to be eating it often. And you do not want to be going to it for a go-to meal or for a snack. All right. The sodium in this product is shocking. I was actually shocked looking at the sodium levels. Okay, so we want to look at the sodium levels, right? Look out for the sodium content in foods. What is considered low? Less than 120 milligrams per 100 gram. Just have a look at this column per 100 gram. 1,172 milligrams. Okay. And that's not even all of the sodium you're getting for the day. What about the sodium you put, like the salt you put in your food, or you eating other packaged products? Everything has sodium in it. Okay, so please be mindful and look out for these nutritional labels. Another thing, I just wanted to add a note. This product doesn't have added sugars, but you'll see many products will say no added sugars. What are added sugars? Added sugars are sugars that are additionally added to a product while processing. This does not mean that the product has no sugar in it, okay? It could have its natural content of the sugar, but no added sugars means that no additional sugar was added in the processing. All right. Okay. All right, so rethinking your drink. I got some popular Indian drinks, and I've got some international drinks and some drinks that are commonly used here in South Africa. Okay, so this is the sugar content in teaspoons that are commonly used beverages per 250 ml. So that is your small cup. That's how much is 250 ml. Okay, so you can see I've got a Verka chocolate shake. It's about 2.5 teaspoons. Then we move up to those of you who drink energy drinks because you are feeling weak. Just look how much sugar is in there. I would only suggest an energy drink for an athlete. Okay, you shouldn't be drinking energy drinks if you're feeling weak. All right. Okay, you can see Maza Gold, mango juice. We're sitting at 6.5 teaspoons of sugar. That is a lot of sugar. Then we get to Sprite and Fanta, Fanta orange, dry lemon, 8 teaspoons of sugar. Do you want to know how 8 teaspoons of sugar look? I put in a packet for you guys to see. This is a lot of sugar. If I put this in a bowl and gave you a spoon, would you eat this amount of sugar? I always ask my patients this because you don't tend to realize when you're drinking a drink how much sugar you're actually putting into your body. And a lot of them would say, no, we wouldn't. They'd look at me disgusted, like, how can you tell me, like, ask me, would I eat this amount of sugar? Okay, so the World Health Organization says for the general public, I'm not talking for diabetics or anyone with a lifestyle disease, okay? For the general population, your sugar content should be 6 teaspoons or less per a day, okay? 6 teaspoons or less per a day. And that's what's included in your cold drinks, in your juices that you drink, the sugar that you put in your chai and coffee, any other packaged products that you're eating that have sugar in it. All of that is included in that 6 teaspoons. I would actually like you guys to do an exercise tomorrow, maybe at the start of your day. Just count how much sugar you are taking in during the day in your chai, your coffee, and if you drink any additional drinks. It's good to see the people who voted on the poll don't drink any of these. All right. So if we just go back quickly to this label, I don't want to focus too much on the sugar because the sugar content is not high in here. But if you look at sugar for something like a drink or chocolate or sweets, you look at the sugar content, okay? And it's usually given in grams. So 4 grams of sugar is equivalent to 1 teaspoon. So say, for example, per serving, this had 12 grams of sugar. That would mean you take the 12 and you divide it by 4, and that would give you 3 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, so that there'd be 3 teaspoons of sugar in the serving and not in the whole packaging. So in the serving would be the 60 grams. Right. Okay, and then just remember, water is the best. I know it's hot in India right now, and sometimes you just feel like a cold drink or cold juice, but water is your best friend. Water is your best drink. You can flavor your water. You can put mint in it. You can put lemon in it. You can cut up some fruit and put it in your water just to flavor it a bit if you do not like drinking water. Okay, and then a lot of people ask me about Coke Zero, Sprite Zero, and all of those. Those are better options to go for, especially for your diabetic patients, but don't overdo them, okay? Because there are sweeteners in there, your aspartame and your xylitol, which if taken in excess can affect you. They do have side effects, okay? So in excess, not great. Right. If you're drinking a Coke occasionally, or say a chocolate shake, or, you know, a juice occasionally, don't beat yourself up for it, okay? I'm just showing you the sugar content so you're more aware, especially if you're drinking these things commonly and, you know, and you're taking sugar in your other drinks like your chai and coffee, your hot drinks as well. Then alcoholic beverages. All right, be mindful as well of how much you're drinking for those of you who do drink. So it is recommended that for men, you're limited to 2 drinks at a time. And for women, 1 drink. All right, so what is 2 drinks and what is 1 drink? Some people would say you didn't specify, so 1 drink can be my Patiala peg. Okay, no. So 1 drink is considered 1 beer, and in terms of whiskey, gin, vodka, it's 35 mils. In terms of wine, it's 125 mils. Okay, so that is considered 1 drink, right? And then if you are drinking, please take your drink with your meals. It just avoids unnecessary snacking on, you know, pujia or chips, or if you're snacking on nuts, it's good because it's a healthy fat, but I mean, you don't want to do that in excess. Okay, so that was alcohol. Right, meals on a budget. I know during this time, it might be very difficult accessing food, especially fresh fruit, fresh vegetables on a regular basis. Okay, also, I know everyone's stuck at home and a lot of people are, you know, experiencing financial difficulty at this time, but you can still eat nutritious food and you can still eat a healthy, balanced meal. All right, eat simple. And I'm going to share some tips with you. So use your seasonal fruits and vegetables. Your seasonal fruits and vegetables tend to be cheaper. Okay, so don't go out and buy seasonal fruits and vegetables. You can freeze your fruit and vegetables. Okay, some of them. For example, a banana. If a banana is getting overripe in your fruit basket at home, pop it into the freezer, okay, with the peel, with the choker, pop it into the freezer, and you can always just, when you want to use it, you can add it to smoothies or make a smoothie bowl. You know, now it's hot in India as well. So you can always just take it out of the freezer, run it under water and peel it and add it to your smoothies. Your smoothies are going to be creamy with the frozen banana, really good. So try this. In terms of vegetables, you can freeze them or you can also cook them and keep them in the fridge. Okay, so for example, mushrooms, for example, if you buy mushrooms, hello?
No, Jasleen, can you please wind up in 15 to 15 minutes as we are short of time?
You have
Okay, okay.
15 to 17
Yeah,
minutes.
you have 15 to 17 minutes.
Oh, I'll be done by then. I'll be done by then. That's a lot of time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. For example, I'm just going to take mushrooms, for example. Say you buy mushrooms, right? And you buy them in large quantity because maybe they were cheap or maybe you like mushrooms. But if you keep them like that in the packaging in your fridge, they tend to get kharab quicker. So what you can do, you can saute them and then keep them in the fridge and then use them in your sabzis or in like a rice, savory rice, or in pasta. They tend to stay longer if you saute them and just keep them in the fridge. Okay, keep stock of dry food items, your legumes, your dals, your chane, your rice, your flour, okay? Keep these. You can make a lot of things with these basic ingredients, right? Please use leftovers. Please don't waste food. Use your leftovers. If you have some dal left over, you can make a dal parantha in the morning for I see raised hands. I'm not too sure. Can everyone hear me, see me, understand? Okay, so use your leftovers. For example, if you have dal left over, you can make a dal parantha in the morning, okay? Or if you have some leftover sabzi, put it in rice. Make the rice a savory rice. Okay, do not waste food, all right? You can cook one food in many different ways. Okay, you can make your food interesting. I'll give you an example. White chane, okay? You can make a chila, okay? Or gram flour, you can make a chila. You can make sprouts for salads. You can make normal, a dry chane sabzi. You can roast your chane and have them as a snack. Toss them in some chili flakes, add some flavor to them, some nimbu, and you can eat it as a snack. You can make chickpea burgers. You can make burgers with chane. I've got a recipe that I would like to share with you guys. So that's coming up soon. You can make so many things. I've given you guys 5 different meals or items that you can make with chane only. So try be creative, try make your food interesting. Okay. Right. Some helpful practical tips, okay? As lockdown comes to an end, I know some people will be going to work, some people will be still working from home, okay? And takeouts are opening, restaurants are opening. I know during lockdown, we were limited to takeaways and takeouts. Please, I know Mr. Chetanpreet and Dr. Shori also mentioned this, please keep the habits that you have in lockdown, the good habits. So if you practice mindful eating, keep that, okay, as you get into your normal working routine and as things open up. So meal preparation, prep your meals. Please don't say you don't have time to cook, so that's why you opt for takeout. Meal prep for the week, meal prep for the next day. Okay, home cooking in your takeout, you don't know how much oil they're using, you don't know what they are doing with your takeouts. Please avoid skipping your meals. All right, so you want to eat your breakfast, lunch, or supper. If you prefer to eat smaller meals, then snacks in between, healthier snack options though, not snacking on your chocolates and your chips and your ice cream on a daily basis. So some options, nuts, your roasted makhana, yogurt, fruit, lassi, okay, just some snacks, chane, roasted chane. Please support your local farmers, okay? So support your local farmers. If there's a farmer's market close to you, support them. They tend to be fresh vegetables and fruits and what's in season is usually sold. And try and grow your own vegetables and herbs at home. Okay, so during this time, we have limited access to fruits and veg. So growing your own, having your little own garden at home, for some people, it's a stress buster and gives you great satisfaction when you see, a fruit or veg come out and you planted it. Right, so there is some sort of satisfaction from that. And it's free from pesticides, right? For those of you who, as we're coming back into normal life, if there's a party or if there's an office party before, please don't starve yourself and say, okay, I will eat at the office party because, you know, they're providing us food, or we're going to a wedding, or we're going to a function and we'll eat there. Eat something at home, something small, so you aren't starving. Because usually at these places, what are they? Usually fried, oily foods. Okay, so if you eat something small just before you go and you're not starving, you tend to limit the amount you eat if you're going out. Right. Okay, so this webinar has covered all aspects of this. I just thought this was a nice diagram to show how everything integrates and how everything is connected in our body. Remember, our bodies are one system. So if something goes off balance in one area, we see the consequences in the other. Okay, and we have gone through all of this. So just remember, to be healthy, it's well-rounded, your mental health, good nutrition, and physical health as well is very important. Right, I know immunity has been such a big topic during these times. You know, we found so many people forwarding WhatsApp messages that have nimbu pani or eat this certain food, drink this certain thing to up your immunity. Your immunity is not built over a day, okay? And one particular food cannot strengthen your immunity. Again, it's a combination of foods, it's your dietary habits, it's your mindfulness. How well are you sleeping? Are you getting any exercise? Okay. How are your nutritional dietary habits like? Okay. So sleep as well. I know Ms. Chetanpreet did go through sleep. Just remember, if you aren't sleeping well at night, your cortisol levels are going to go up, which is your stress hormone. Okay. And that's going to increase your appetite, because increased cortisol does increase your appetite, and you're going to tend to overeat. Or people who don't sleep at night tend to snack a lot. Okay, so proper sleep is really good for you. Some tips, you need a good night's sleep. Try and drink chamomile tea or jasmine tea, any herbal tea before you go to bed. Limit screen time. Using your laptop, using your phone, you know, the blue light increases the melatonin, all right? And no, sorry, the blue light decreases your melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, all right? So it suppresses it. So that's, especially if you're using, you know, we tend to sit in beds with our phones. Try and not use any technological devices at least 1 to 2 hours before going to bed. Then another thing which I've also seen in Ayurveda is rubbing ghee on the heels of your feet. I don't know if it works, but they say that it draws the mental matters down towards the ground if you rub ghee on your heels of your feet. You can try it. I mean, there's no harm in trying and rubbing ghee on your heels. The worst that can happen is that you'll get softer heels. Okay, your feet will get nice and soft. So if it doesn't help you sleep better, so there's no harm in trying that. Okay, I'm going to share you a recipe. Chickpea burgers. I have tried them. This is my recipe. It makes 15 medium patties. Very easy for those of you who are vegan and you know, allergic to gluten or have a gluten intolerance. The patty is vegan and gluten free. Okay, so I'm going to share a little video with you. Okay, I'm going to leave this on for a little while. Please screenshot this. This is the ingredients that you need to make the chickpea burger. You could see how I just put it into a whole wheat bun and I added some salad to my burger. But please take a picture of this or screenshot it, and please try it at home and give me some feedback. Very tasty. You can, you know, add or take out any of the spices according to your preference and taste. Okay, moving to the next slide. This is the method. Just snap a picture or screenshot this as well. Super easy to make, different, you know, yeah, and healthy also, high in protein. Okay, thank you. I would like to thank all of you who were amazing today. Thank you for listening to me. And I would like to thank G.H.G. Khalsa College for organizing this wonderful webinar and giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you today. Thank you so much. Okay, I see raised hands. I think I'll be taking questions at the end of the sessions, the next session. Okay.
Yes, Jasleen, please be with us. We'll be taking the questions after the next session.
Great. Thank you, Manu ma'am.
Thanks, Madam Jasleen. It was indeed a very informative session. In a limited time span, you presented your topic in a very thoughtful manner. No doubt we have to learn the skill to live with this virus, and the best we can do is to take an extra care of ourselves and our family by focusing on good diet and nutrition as shared by you. Thanks once again. Now, without wasting much of the time, I will invite the second speaker for the day, Dr. Manu Chadha, who is an associate professor at G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar Sadhar. Dr. Manu Chadha, or Madam Manu, as we fondly call her, needs no introduction. She is a well-known figure in teacher education community. Let's have a brief introduction about her. Dr. Manu is a postgraduate in chemistry and psychology. She did her PhD in education from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and got the award for Youngest Research Scholar by CTE in 2005. She has a vast research experience. She published 76 research papers and articles in national and international journals. She has a bulk of paper presentations in national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops. She has conducted more than 20 extension lectures on various themes. She also edited 3 books on teacher education. She has also published one scale on workplace stress, which is available at National Psychological Corporation, Agra. She is also an active member of various educational organizational bodies like CTE, GARA, AIAER, and PCCTU. She is a registered career counselor appointed by Punjab School Education Board. She is continuously giving her career counseling services to nearby school students. 10 students have completed their PhD under her able guidance, and 4 more are pursuing. She is currently working on 2 research projects on teacher education sponsored by UGC and Punjab University, Chandigarh. And at the last but not the least, and which I think is the above all the degrees and credentials, she is a nice human being with a helping hand and love and compassion for everyone. Now it's over to Dr. Manu Chadha.
Thank you, Dr. Jasbir, for the beautiful words. I'm highly grateful to you for these words. Today, life is becoming much stressful. In the era of threat for security of life due to pandemics, epidemics, huge competition and race for being ahead, we have started ignoring our health and immunity. Sports, games, mindful eating certainly play a huge role in transforming our routine health. My co-presenters have very beautifully given us inputs regarding all this. It provides us It provides us happiness and energy, no doubt, for better work performance, but still an optimistic, healthy environment supplements more to our well-being at workplace. So, well, friends, my topic for today is well-being at workplace. Now, before I start my topic, I would just like to ask a few questions. I would be posing a poll. Please remember one thing, none of the questions are right or wrong. They are simply your observations, your opinions. And mind you, I will not be getting your names or your results or something. I'll be just getting the percentage as Madam Jasleen had got. So I'll be starting with my poll before I proceed so that I just get an idea of the various strategies that we need to apply for carrying out, for creating positive well-being at workplace. So please be ready for the polls. I hope the poll is visible to you on your screen. Is the poll visible on your screen? Okay. Hanji. The first question, are the goals and responsibilities in your institution clearly communicated to you? You just have to answer in yes or no. Third institution, जो भी कोई काम हो रहे हैं, जेड़े कोई goals हैं, responsibilities हैं, are they communicated to you? Are you told in advance, or are they through some kind of message? Are they sent to you? Kindly respond. Oh, so second question, does your job stress you? The third question, after you go back home from your workplace, you think you are stressed? Next question, are you acknowledged for your work at your workplace? Yes or no? I'm getting amazing results. That's beautiful. And do you hold yourself responsible for the progress or failure at your workplace? That's great. So, well, my friends, I'll just wait for another few seconds so that I can get more results. The participants who raised your hands, can you just type your queries in the chat box? Okay, so I think I'll end the poll here, and we can just discuss over the answers. Thank you, friends. Thank you for your amazing participation. Okay, so are the goals and responsibilities in your institution clearly communicated to you? 89% of you have said yes, while, okay, 90% has said yes, while 11% has said no. Please end the poll. So 90% of you have said yes, you are the goals and responsibilities in your institution are clearly communicated to you. This indicates, this particular poll indicates employee happiness. This indicates that you exhibit a sufficient amount of employee happiness. My second question, does your job stress you? 68% of you have beautifully mentioned, no, it does not stress you. Okay, so this indicates that you are actually getting good employee well-being. You're a good employer who is getting good well-being in the institute. Third question, do you feel stressed after you are back home from your workplace? 61% of you say no, you're not stressed, which is a wonderful thing, Again, this question says, घर आकर अगर आप थकान नहीं फील कर रहे तो ये भी यही बताता है कि आप एक अच्छी एम्प्लॉय, आप एज एन एम्प्लॉय एक अच्छी वेलबींग एग्जिबिट कर रहे हो. Next question, are you acknowledged for your work at your workplace? 83%. Wonderful. This shows you're all working at beautiful places. So you all actually have positive well-being at your workplace. This shows that employee well-being. And you firstly you show positive well-being. Besides that, you also are positively engaged in your work. Fifth question, do you hold yourself responsible for the progress or failure at your workplace? 82% of you have said yes. So it may be either progress or failure. In both the cases, it means that you are the pivot of your institution. Again, this question deals with employee engagement. So five of these questions are actually indicative of employee happiness, employee well-being. So I'll end the poll here, please. Share this. These are indicative of employee happiness, employee well-being, and employee engagement. Now, what is basically employee happiness? Employee happiness doesn't mean that you're just feeling happy all the time. It is actually a feeling of optimism about your work. It is your ability to fix the problems. And when I say your ability to fix the problems, remember one thing, we're only able to fix the problems when we are actually willing to fix those problems. Sara time rote ro, oh Lord, now what will happen? Corona is there. I cannot go there. My kids are not going to school. I have so much work to do. I know we were all facing these problems. But when you are able to fix these problems, when you are able to, when you are willing to deal with these problems, and when you have the capacity to accept criticism, and that also I can say constructive criticism, then I can say you move towards improving oneself. And this is basically what is called as employee happiness. My second and third question, as I said, deals with employee well-being. Now, what basically is employee well-being? Employee well-being is about how your job, your duties, your expectations, stress level at your workplace, the environment at your workplace, it actually affects your overall health and happiness. It's certainly the factors responsible for our well-being are exercise and nutrition, but more than that, it's your mood, it's your cognition. These are the less tangible factors which are also responsible for the well-being of an employee. My last two questions, as I said, show, since the positive results show that you are engaged in your institution. Yesterday, Dr. Shruti Shauri had also talked about engagement. Now, engagement basically means when the workforce at the workplace, they feel that the work they are doing is meaningful, their work is valued, their work is appreciated, it is supported, then we can say they have higher well-being levels. They seem to be more committed towards, and this will result in more commitment towards the organization's goal, and surely you're going to perform better. So friends, the strong relationship between your well-being, your motivation, and your performance in the institution is known as employee engagement. These three terms, employee happiness, employee well-being, employee engagement, they are all used interchangeably. They basically, we use them often, but they have some difference. What is the difference? We've already seen, and what strategies to be employed, that we're going to see. Here, I'm going to basically focus on employee well-being, because I feel when an individual is engaged, when an individual is happy at his workplace, obviously, we can say he or she enjoys positive, good well-being. Friends, smart employers that is your heads, know that the organizations perform better when the staff is happy, healthy, motivated, and focused. Now, what are the factors that are going to trigger stress and mental health problems before that? Okay. Now, one question I would like to ask you, what is health? We've all been studying this. What is health? Can I have your answers in the chat box? Can you please just in a nutshell? It's no test. Just what do you think? What do you mean by health? Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so as plenty of you have said, it is physical health, it is mental health. Just as physical health, we have mental health also. It also moves up and down. We have it also moves from good to bad. It is, we can say that since considering the time, considering the amount of time we spend at work, which is generally 7 to 8 hours officially, but we are also working more than that. So I can say during these pandemic days, the amount of time that we are spending in our offices, in our schools, in our institutions is basically, I can say around 10 to 12 hours. So considering the amount of time that we spend at work, it is actually the workplace environment and the work culture that affects your well-being. So long hours, no breaks, unrealistic expectations or deadlines, especially in the MNCs, you see that you just given 1 or 2 days and you have to finish a big project. Then a poor physical working environment. Then at times you're even designated roles, you are given position, you're given some roles to perform. आपको कोई ऐसा काम दे दिया जाता है, which again are high risk roles. You don't know whether, because the progress also is because of you and the failure is also because of you. You'll be held responsible. At times over a big project, you're made to work all alone. So lone working. And when you're working alone, it means difficult interpersonal relationships. You don't have very good interpersonal relations among your friends. And as such, you're not able, you lack internal communication. Because yesterday, as ma'am had also said, it is very important that we need to have a good communication along the hierarchy from the lower level to the staff members, to the principal, to the managing directors, and to the heads. Everybody, you need to have a good hierarchy. So when you lack that poor internal communication, it means that you're not getting enough managerial support. And a very important factor during pandemic, during this critical time, is job insecurity. Plenty of you are facing insecurity in job, poorly managed change. So these are some of the factors that trigger stress and mental health problems at workplace. Now, before we take up, yesterday ma'am had also quoted about Maslow's need hierarchy. Well, friends, this is a pyramid which shows that the difference. This shows that the difference that we have as the different needs that we need to have as humans. The bottom of the pyramid shows those needs which are very important, which are the life-sustaining needs. Roti, kapda, makan, your family, your social interactions, your security. These are the needs that we need to fulfill. These are our basic needs. Once these basic needs are fulfilled, then only you can move towards the higher level of the top of the pyramid. The top of the pyramid shows that once these basic, and achieve those basic needs, the needs at the top of the pyramid, you actually need to fulfill the needs at the bottom. And it is here that the wellness works. It is here that wellness works. So friends, not everyone gets a chance to fulfill these higher needs. Not everyone gets a chance that they are able, that their lives can be as rewarding as everybody can have. So here it is, henceforth, I think we need to first make efforts to fulfill the needs at the bottom, go to the top, and then it is there that wellness works. So whether it be corona, whether it be any pandemic, any epidemic, we see that people with comorbidities are likely to be more prone to diseases. They are likely to be more exerted, and hence they exhibit poor well-being. Now, my question is, why? So, to have a positive well-being, we all know we need to have positive or good health behaviors. Now, why do we need to generate or improve our health behaviors? As you all know, people who have good health behaviors, who are able to maintain healthy behaviors, will surely show positive well-being. When they will show pure positive well-being, which means that they will be suffering less diseases. They will be suffering from less diseases, less chronic diseases. अब अगर बीमारियां नहीं होंगी तो आपको डॉक्टर के पास नहीं जाना पड़ेगा. डॉक्टर के पास नहीं जाओगे तो means less healthcare costs. So this, in turn, I can say, is responsible for your well-being. And then if you have all these three, it means you show good well-being. Another thing, if you show positive well-being, obviously you're going to show improvement in your work. So good well-being results in improved productivity. Employees with good health behavior, they have the capability of controlling their stress. They are prone to less comorbidities. They can control their problems. As such, I will say that they show poor or less absenteeism. They'll be they'll be coming regularly for work, less likely to be absent from work. Then another very important factor why we need to improve our health behaviors. If we improve our health behaviors, it is obvious that we will see that the workplace where we are working, we're going to find that there is good recruitment, there employee recruitment and employee retention. Now, what basically is retention? Retention here is the ability of the workplace to retain workforce. हम अक्सर ये सुनते हैं, उस इंस्टीट्यूट में बहुत पुराने टीचर्स बैठे हैं, उस इंस्टीट्यूट में बहुत पुराने लोग बैठे हैं. What is the basic reason? वहाँ पुराने लोग क्यों बैठे हैं? पुराने लोग इसलिए बैठे क्योंकि वो वर्कप्लेस जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा एटमॉस्फेयर है वहाँ पर. The workforce is very comfortable there, and as a result, it will help the employees in building a strong, a high morale, in building a strong, it's a good morale in working over. Okay. Then there is another important factor that is responsible, and that factor basically is, now we see that if you can all see this, the research study published by a journal, we can see that people who use tobacco, 28%, and 66% are those who are not healthy, and 50% are those who do not exercise, do not perform any exercise. We can see that this is the rate of presentism. Now, what basically is presentism? Absentism, you were all very clear, that is remaining absent from work. Presentism doesn't mean just that being present at work. We are physically at work, but actually not working. And this is called presentism. And you find that all these unhealthy lifestyles are responsible for our poor productivity at work. And this is what I mean by presentism. So the results have also shown that it is unhealthy lifestyles. And when it is unhealthy lifestyles, obviously when your lifestyle, Jasleen had just talked about mindfulness in eating. Chetan had talked about physical exercise. And I feel that in case we are not mindful about all these things, we are not healthy. And once we are not healthy, we are not productive at work. We may be there at work, but we're not productive at work. And this poor productivity is called presentism. And basically one main cause of presentism is poor health. So friends, I think for our positive well-being, we need to focus on all of them. Now, well, friends, when I was just going through the registration list, since you all know that we were there I was there in the organizing committee also. So when I was just going through the registration list, I could see I have plenty of principals, plenty of heads on board in my list. And so, although I think I'm not in a position to guide them, but I don't think so that a tip here or there is going to hurt them. Due apologies to the various principals and to the heads, but just a few tips which might help you, which might be of some help to you. Okay. I was just going through an article by Sonja in the How of Happiness, where it very beautifully quoted that 50% of the happiness is genetically predetermined, and it is 10% which is because of the circumstances of life. When I say your circumstances in life, I mean your family, your friends, your health, etc. So all these. Now, Hamni done 60%. It is only the 40% that is your personal outlook. And my dear principals, my dear heads, as an employer, you really cannot do anything with the top two, that is the 60%, but you surely can help your employees in improving upon the 40%, that is their personal outlook. And here you can do this by bringing about a change in the structure of the work pattern, structure of their daily work pattern. So now, how you can bring about a change in the structure of the daily work pattern. Employers, that is the principals, the heads, should send a clear message that the well-being of the staff matters to them. Colleagues always take cues from their leaders. As kids learn from their parents, so here, as an employee, we all learn from our employers. So when the head speaks about the mental health, it actually has a huge impact on the workforce. Then secondly, in many places, we see that in many institutions, in many workplaces, mental health is just an elephant in the room. Too often, employees are scared to go and talk to their principals. They're scared to go and talk to their heads. And what happens? Sari jo problem hai, that turns out to be that becomes a problem. And the problems keep on aggravating. Gunjaldar hote hote badti jati hai. So here the employers need to raise the awareness and promote discussion of mental health and well-being to proactively challenge the harmful culture which is presently there during pandemic. Because as it is, we are all under stress because of the pandemic. We are under stress because we do not know the future. We are under stress because we are not aware of the future of our kids. They're not going to schools and we do not know what is going to happen with their studies. So there's so much workload as parents, as employees. So here I think it is the employers who can help us in promoting the mental health and well-being among their employees. Another thing, I think at the beginning of the session, in almost all the institutes, and even these days, we're all into having FDPs and training programs. And very important, mental health programs can be embedded in these induction and training programs. The staff can be involved in dialogues, in internal communication, in decision making. Another very good thing that I feel is a small thank you note, a formal recognition, or in some of the MNCs or we see in the banks, when we go in the bank, we have an Employee of the Month award. This goes a long way towards creating a more positive emotional environment, and it really supports, it really helps out. So this was what your heads can do for you. But well, friends, heads cannot do everything. It is actually this positive well-being has to come from within yourself. You have to boost well-being within yourself. बाहर से आपको कितना मर्जी अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट प्रोवाइड कर दे, लेकिन अगर आपको ही आदत है रोने की, आपको ही आदत है कृप करने की कि मैं क्या करूं, मेरे ऊपर घर का काम का बहुत बोझ है, या दिस और दैट, व्हाटएवर, योर हेड्स कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग फॉर यू इन दैट केस. I said they can just work on that 40%, but friends, 60% is in your hands. So for that 60%, very important is, which all my co-presenters have already been speaking. Dr. Shruti Shari was beautiful yesterday. She's an amazing speaker. I cannot say anything about her. You all were listening to her. So she talked about mindfulness. Chetan talked about physical mindfulness, and Jasleen has just given you beautiful tips about mindful eating. So practice mindfulness. May it be eating, may it be physical through physical exercises. What you need to do is reduce your stress and enhance your relationships. Yesterday ma'am had said once in a while, I don't think so, I know we cannot go out. कोरोना में आप एक दूसरे के घर नहीं जा सकते हो, लेकिन आप इतना तो कर सकते हो कि आप एक फोन कॉल कर लो अपने नेबर्स को. आप you can just divide your time. Today I'm going to call 3 neighbors, tomorrow I'm going to call next 3 neighbors, then I'm going to call my relatives, I'm going to call my some oldies in my relations. Just that is going to enhance your relationship. Another, guided meditation. A meditation doesn't mean कि जाकर हिमालय पे बैठकर meditate करना. Meditation basically means talking within yourself. Know yourself. You just have to think about yourself. Think of all the good things that you do. Think of all the good things that you have. Be thankful for all that you have. Yesterday, ma'am had also had talked about gratitude. May it be after your meditation, may it be early in the morning when you get up. When you get up, you just sit on your bed, keep a notebook next to your bed, and or may it be at night, just track a 2-minute gratitude list. Thank you for all this, thank you for this, thank you for this, thank you for this, and you see your list will keep on increasing as the days pass, and then you realize you'll have so much positive. You have so many good things around you, then why crib and complain? Then you will not crib and complain. Obviously, you'll have a good well-being. Then, fitness challenges. I don't think so I need to talk much about it. We had a full session on it yesterday. Encourage employees to develop friendships. Again here, let's have a very cool environment at the workplace. Enhance group work. Cooperative strategies adopt karo. इस तरह से काम करो that every individual's work is commended, and also along with that individual's work, even the overall work, it also affects the every individual's work is commended, and it adds to the score of the team. It adds to the score of the whole team. Then another, learn to improve your patience. Learn to improve your communication. When I say communication, it doesn't mean कि अब ऐसे बातें करना. Communication is also non-vocal communication. Communication means communicating within yourself. Improvements in your analytical thinking. Yesterday, ma'am talked about engagement. Even my my questions in the poll were about engagement. And engagement is an all-time low, and one beautiful way to encourage yourself that yes, you care about your job, you care about your work. Feel safe at your workplace, feel supported at your workplace, feel appreciated at your workplace. Don't just keep waiting कि मुझे बोला जाएगा कि आप तो बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं. आप खुद ही अपने काम को लेकर खुश हो जाओ. आप खुद ही अपने काम को analyze करो, because I just said improvements in your analytical thinking. And when it comes to analytical thinking, I mean self-analytical thinking. Don't start analyzing others. Please analyze yourself, and you will love your work. And when you love your work, you love your workplace. You love your workplace, obviously, positive well-being at your workplace. Social interactions. Don't just, I know it is Corona time. We all need to be away from each other. We need to maintain social distance, but then along with the social distance, we can also maintain interactions. We can encourage friendship among each other. This is basically when you talk to your friends. I personally think I really love talking to my friends, and till I don't talk, I am full with everything, because I think it helps me in decreasing my stress. It helps me in reducing my anxiety. It is a very important factor in enhancing happiness and bringing about calmness within me. So basically, you need to. So where do we start? Please don't wait that it has to come from anywhere else. It has to come from within you. It has to be from within you. Then yesterday, ma'am talked about a very important term, that is connectionism. Connectionism again is very important factor for well-being. Now, how can we encourage, how can we facilitate connectionism among ourselves at the workplace? How as co-workers we can encourage connectionism? Best ways, there should be a generally everywhere, be it any school, any college, be it any workplace, lunch break zarur hota hai. It is mandatory. It is in that rules of work. Encourage co-workers to take their full lunch break and try taking it together. Let it be in a big hall, in a dining hall. You may eat your own food. You don't have to share your food. That is not mandatory. But at least when you're all together, you will eat your lunch and with little chit chats. Although here I am going against what Jasleen said, focus on your lunch, but then I think we need to de-stress ourselves also during our workplace. Encourage team traditions and rituals. अब हम लोग सब अलग अलग कल्चर से आते हैं. किसी भी एक workplace में we are people from different areas, different fields. So why not celebrate each one's day, each festival, every small festival? Why not celebrate that? Why not celebrate every small ritual? It's just going to take 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to go in with all the decoration, with all spending money on this, but it can be just very small thing. Supposing it is my culture's day today. I can just get something very, whatever is there in my culture, I can make it and get it in the. Get it to my office, and during lunch we can all share that. Just make it, send it, give it to all my friends. Then another thing, which we are all presently doing it, allow remote days. Remote days means I am not well, I am stressed, I can work from home, which is a very good practice in MNCs. We always thought that teaching is not possible. Teaching is not possible from home. I was always under the impression, I used to always tell the software engineers and all, you can work from home, but we cannot. But this pandemic has made us realize nothing is impossible. Impossible is actually a word in the dictionary of fools. Impossible, we are all working from home. Besides that, we can even work from some off-site location. I'm working on a project, and I think I'm not able to concentrate in my room. I'm not able to concentrate in the staff room or in my room. I can go and sit in the coffee shop. I can go and sit in the student center and work there. I can go and sit in the playground and just work upon it. So it's not necessary that the work has to be done in those four corners only. It's not that closed compartment में ही काम हो सकता है. आप कहीं भी जहाँ आपको distraction नहीं हो रही और आप अपने काम पर focus कर सकते हो. Then start an off-site office-wide Slack channel. This we are all doing it. We all have WhatsApp groups, official where we have our office WhatsApp groups. Let there be one official WhatsApp group. Let there be another unofficial WhatsApp group of your workplace where you can discuss things unofficially. Then focus on personal development. As I said, it is very important that it has to come from within you. Set your own goals, set your own work strategies. Ma'am yesterday talked about resilience, bounce back. So you need to do that. Reduce your burnout. Another thing, if you're sick, stay away from work. It is not, if you're sick, it's not a sign of weakness. It is actually you need some rest, and you can always work from home. So this again will help you. Then another, at home, I think all of us, after a few months, we feel like bringing about some changes in our room. We'll move the bed from here to there. We'll do something or the other. Please do that in your office also. There's no hard and fast rule that you cannot change the setting of your office. You can always move your table from here to there, or you can bring about some, and in case financial conditions of your office allow, you can remove the wooden windows, you can remove the wooden doors, let there be aluminum doors with sufficient glass so that sunlight comes in. Allow more sunlight to come. Chetan yesterday talked about circadian rhythms. Natural light influences our circadian rhythms, our natural clocks, the 24/7 natural clocks, the sleep and wake cycles. So all these factors, I think we can do it ourselves. I don't think so. If you move your table or your chair from one position to the other, your HOD or your employer will not come and say, यहाँ से यहाँ क्यों किया? है तो आप कमरे में ही हो. वैसे तो आपने अगर काम करना है तो आप थोड़ी देर के लिए बाहर जाकर भी काम कर सकते हैं to remove your distractions. But try renovating your office. Try bringing about a change in your office without spending much money. Please, I would not say that you renovate it completely, because then all the employers are going to shout at me. You can always do that even without spending much money. Allow sunlight, sufficient sunlight to come. So, friends, for a supportive environment, for the major key parameters in well-being and at our workplace, major parameters to have a good well-being at our workplace, we need to have positive working relations, we need to have a supportive environment, work environment, and we need to be socially involved. So for that, you need to be at your workplace, please be mutually supportive. Don't say this is your job, you do it. If you know it, please help out. Don't think that it is her job, it is his job. Why should I interfere? मेरा नाम तो आना नहीं है यहाँ पर, मैं क्यों करूँ? No, please be mutually supportive. Have a good environment where good work relationships thrive. Encourage good teamwork. Support a culture of teamwork, collaboration, and information sharing. These are just the key takeaways which I feel that you can just understand. The very simple. Promote positive behavior. Avoid conflicts. Avoid stress giving factors in the institute or in your workplace. We all have anti-grievance cells. We all have sexual harassment cell all over in whether it is any kind of workplace. We all have it there. But please ensure that these policies are not there just in paper and pen. They are well in place, well publicized. Encourage exercise. Encourage regular social events. I don't think so there will be a problem if a workplace, probably all the MNCs do have it, I'm very sure of it. Our college itself also has it. We have a very small gym here where I remember when we are there with stress, we can go there. Treadmill के ऊपर थोड़ी देर exercise कर लो, cycling कर लो, कुछ ऐसा कर लो जहां पर आप अपना stress remove कर सकते हो. Then I've just given one idea of lunch and learn, which I've already told you. We can all sit together, and lunchtime is 30 minutes, 15 minutes. We can all sit and have lunch together. Next 15 minutes, just take a walk in the ground, in your lawns, in your ground, whatever you have it in your workplace, and then you can discuss about various things. Try avoiding the discussion that is to be about some project, but let there be an indirect discussion. Promote good work-life balance. Please prioritize yourself first. Your development is more important. If you are developed, if you are engaged, then only you will be able to bring about employee happiness. You will be able to bring about well-being. You'll be able to bring about engagement. Please ensure, be a very good listener. We all love talking, and especially teaching profession, it's wonderful talking. But please be a good listener also, and ensure that the voices of the people with mental health problems are heard. Try to hear them. So friends, Starting from my introductory statement, where I started yesterday, before introducing Dr. Shruti Shauri, I think I started from this statement. So starting from my introductory statement, remember, positivity pulls you up and never lets you down. We must remember that we are all children of God and He will never let us drown. What He only asks us is that keep your thoughts positive. Let us all be optimistic. It can be achieved by feeding ourselves, besides feeding with food, besides feeding with all the love, laughter, humanity. It can be by feeding ourselves with spirituality, mindfulness, meditation, prayer, and good thoughts. So friends, let's all re-begin our journey as we come to the end of this webinar today. Let's all re-begin our journey by being more compassionate and progressive human beings. I am born with potential. I am born with confidence. I am born with wings. So I'm not meant for crawling. I have wings. I will fly. I will fly and fly. So please keep that I will in you. When you have that I will in you, surely you can do it. So in the middle of this chaos, there is a life to be celebrated. Let's celebrate this life with cheer and passion. Thank you, friends. Thank you for your patient hearing. Now we can have a few of the hands were being raised, but since I could not unmute them, we can have the questions now.
Thanks, Dr. Manu Chadha, ma'am. The topic you deliberated upon was the need of the hour. As we all are going to our respective workplaces, but with the fear and uncertainty in our minds. Your words will help all of us to boldly face adversity of this pandemic and help us in maintaining our well-being today, tomorrow, and always. Thanks once again. Now it's time for question answer session. Jasleen, ma'am, are you there?
Jasleen, are you there? Yes, she's there. Jasleen, are you there? Okay. So, she is there, but probably I think some problem. Okay, we can...
Hello, Jasleen, ma'am, are you listening? Mandeep, ma'am, you have raised your hand. Please ask your question.
Unmute karo, unmute karo.
Mandeep, ma'am.
Mandeep Kaur, we've unmuted you. You may please ask your question. Jatinder Kaur has some question. Please unmute him. Yes, Jatinder Kaur, you. All those who are just raised. Okay, but since we are unmuting you, you may ask your question, please.
Hello.
Baljinder Singh, we unmute you. Ask your questions, please.
Hanji, thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, my query is regarding, the vegan diet.
She's there. Jasleen, are you there? Jasleen? Madam Jasleen, are you there? Jasleen, we are not able to hear you. Probably, I think you are able to hear us, but we are not able to hear you. She says, let me check my connection. Dr. Baljinder, probably I think there's some technical issue with her there at South Africa. So, I think
No worries, ma'am. Okay.
as soon as we get back,
Okay. No problem, ma'am. Thank you.
Jasleen, are you able to hear?
Anybody wants to ask anything? She or he can raise his or her hand. Any queries from your side for Dr. Manu Chadha?
Hello, Manu ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, Jasleen, you are there. Okay, Dr. Baljinder, you can. Dr. Baljinder? Dr. Baljinder, we've unmuted you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. I am audible, please.
Yes, you're audible. Perfect. Please go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. Jasleen. I have a query regarding vegan diet.
Hi,
Are you
Dr.
able to hear me?
Baljinder. Yes, I am able to hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Ma'am, actually, I was just watching a documentary on vegan diet. That is the game changer. I think you know that.
Yes.
That was introduced by James Wick, the
Yes.
UFC fighter.
Yes.
So he emphasizes on the plant-based diet, and
Yeah.
there are mostly our celebrities are now converting to the vegan diet nowadays.
Yes.
So my query is that vegan diet is efficient to fulfill our daily requirement like macro and micronutrients. Would you
Okay,
please able
so
to? Yeah.
Dr. Baljinder, to answer your question, I have watched the Game Changers, and I'm sure many people after watching the Game Changers have moved to a vegan diet. Overall, Dr. Baljinder, you have to understand that you have to take an individualized, personalized approach to each person. Okay, taking the person's case scenario and their diet history, their health records in consideration, and to see if they're able to get enough protein in the vegan diet. Some people aren't able to get enough protein into their vegan diet. So that's where it's lacking. So you have to take this on an individualized, personalized approach. If the vegan diet does work, but it needs to be monitored, and you need to have a nutritional professional that makes sure that you are getting enough protein in your diet.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I am a qualified chef also, and before I was in Australia, and there it is possible to have all the nutrients like protein. You said that, but in contrast to India, if I talk about the Indian culture, is it possible? Because I am a sports trainer also here in this very college, so.
Yes.
That's why I'm asking that my friends are also following this vegan diet. They are all over world. So
Is Dr. Buljinder, it is possible for you to follow an Indian vegan diet. Let's put it that way. But again, you would need to be guided by a professional to make sure that you are getting sufficient protein and you are getting sufficient nutrients in your diet, especially if you are a sports professional or an athlete.
thank you, ma'am. But just what is your concept regarding this? Is it okay with that in India for us?
For
I'm just
me,
asking your, yeah, being a
okay, my
dietitian, I'm
opinion,
asking you, yeah.
okay. My opinion personally on the vegan diet, I don't think everyone needs to convert to a vegan diet. I just feel like we need to include more plant-based foods into our diet. So like I said, including more vegetables and more fruit into our diet. I think that would be the first step. I would not take someone who's, eating badly and just take them and say, okay, now we're going to move to a vegan diet. It's a very big jump for them. Okay, so you need to work with an individual personally and guide them. And I mean, certain people turn to veganism because of their beliefs, because of they don't believe like killing animals is suited, and because of environmental beliefs, it's not specifically for nutrition. So due to other beliefs as well, they do move to veganism. So, veganism is good, but I don't think it's for everyone. That's my personal opinion.
Thanks,
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, the Virat Kohli, Amir Khan, all are, converting to that, the celebrities. So thank you so much for your information. Thanks, ma'am.
No problem. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Buljinder.
Thanks, Madam Jasleen. And a big thanks to all the resource person and the participants for sharing their valuable time. It's time for valedictory session. Now I call Dr. Sarabjit Kaur Ranu, Associate Professor from the host college, for the valedictory session and for the vote of thanks. It's over to Dr. Sarabjit Kaur Ranu.
I'm Dr. Sarjit Kaur Ranu. Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to the valedictory session of the two-day webinar on mental health and well-being during pandemic and the post-COVID-19. I hope you would have enjoyed all the interesting and informative sessions of this two-day webinar. I'm also thankful to the principal, Dr. Bhagat Singh Garcha, and the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to chair the valedictory session. We at G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education are really grateful to Dr. Shruti Shori, Associate Professor, DAV College, Chandigarh, for illuminating our participants with her insightful presentation on the above theme. I'm sure her views must have made significant impact on the participants. We really appreciate Ms. Chetan Preet Kaur Nilo, Assistant Professor, DAV College, Chandigarh, for her outstanding presentation on well-being during pandemic. Her views on physical health and lifestyle during pandemic will surely prove beneficial for the participants. The thought-provoking presentation of Mrs. Jasleen Kaur, clinical dietitian, South Africa, was indeed a source of motivation. My dear colleague, Dr. Manu Chadda's deliberations on well-being at workplace were fairly comprehensive. Dr. Manu very rightly said that principals and the head of the institutions have great role to play in generating well-being and the feeling of wellness amongst their employees. The tips he gave to the workforce on inculcating the feelings of wellness and well-being on their own are quite appreciated. In the end, on behalf of the College Governing Council, headed by Sardar Manjeet Singh Gill, Principal Dr. Bhagat Singh Garcha, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, faculty members, and the students of G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education, express my gratitude to all the resource persons of the webinar for their time and efforts
they took to share their inspiring thoughts and experience with the participants. I'm also very grateful to the participants for their patience and for their patience listening. Thank you all, one and all. I again thank you all.
Thank you, friends. The feedback link has already been shared in the WhatsApp groups. Any issues out there, we'll sort it out. Please don't panic and don't worry. And your certificates will be issued to you in 1 or 2 days. Kindly bear with us because we need to match. And please remember one thing, all those who had registered themselves prior to the day of our webinar, that is who had registered by 6th, their registration and feedback will be considered. So thanks a ton. Thank you all, and may I request you all to kindly put on your videos for a second so that we can have a good pic of yours. Friends, please put on your videos. And once again, thank you, Shruti ma'am, thank you, Chetan, and thank you, Jasleen, for being with us. It was really nice, and I really appreciate that Shruti ma'am was there today with us also. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again. Thank you, friends. Thank you all. And stay safe, stay healthy. Wish you all a very fruitful day and a fruitful year ahead. Thank you so much.